business credit building questions. Our host, Joshua Van Horn, is here for you during these tough times. But together, as we unite as one, we will get through this and build and rebuild business credit. Subscribe and hit the bell notification if you haven't already done so. Josh is about to take you two by storm, and you don't want to miss what's coming.
Hey YouTube, it's Josh Van Horn with the Get Business Credit YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, I want to welcome you to the GBC family, where I teach you every element from obtaining business credit and building business credit. I've recorded hundreds of videos breaking down how to build business credit strategically. So if you're looking to build business credit in 2020, I invite you to please hit the subscribe button and make sure all notifications are turned on as I have new videos dropping soon. And to the Get Business Credit GBC family, appreciate all the support that you've shown me over the last 6 years. So let's make 2025 bigger than ever. Give the video a thumbs up, drop a comment, ask a question. I'll do my best to get back to you. This will help the YouTube algorithm and others trying to build business credit. Let's get into the video and start building business credit. Hey, what's up guys? Can you guys hear me okay? We are having some technical difficulties. Just want to make sure you guys can hear us okay. Jason, why don't you say something, see if they can hear you as well?
Yeah, I can hear you pretty clearly. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you guys just put like number 1 in the comment section if you guys can hear me and Jason okay, and we'll get started.
Looks like it's good.
Okay, couple things we are going to cover today. I know it's been a while since we went live. The last time we went live was actually that 7-hour live stream, and last couple of days I was not feeling very well. I ate some Indian curry food and it wasn't agreeing with me, so it wasn't around for the last couple of days. Anyways, we have a couple of different things that we're going to go over tonight, and hopefully this is not going to be a 6 or 7 hour live. Yeah. So one of my current students, Justin, we're going to be doing a kind of audit on his business credit report live. I think he might be in here or will be momentarily. And then we also have a new webinar that we're going to be offering. Let me go ahead and I'll show you guys that in a minute, but anybody can sign up. It's limited seats. It's for this coming Friday. And if Friday doesn't work for you, we're also doing one on Sunday. So it is a paid webinar, but everybody can come up. Just, you don't have to show your face, but everybody can come up, and it's kind of like a Zoom interactive exclusive webinar. I've never done one before, but going to be doing that. And also we have one scheduled soon too with Aaron over at Fair Figure. I don't know if anybody caught the CEO Creative and Fair Figure one that they just did, but Aaron and I have been talking about that. So that's probably going to be, and that's a free webinar, but it's kind of different than what the paid webinar is. But that one we're going to be probably scheduling in the next couple of weeks. That one's going to be quite interesting too, because it's probably going to be roughly 200 or 300 people that are going to be in that webinar. So see Ebony here. She's also one of our VIP one-on-one business credit mentorship students. Ebony, I know we were supposed to be scheduled a call a couple of days back, but we'll get to that this week. Okay. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. Just for everybody that is just tuning in, and maybe you haven't seen Jason in the past, he's been on a couple of my lives, but some of you guys might have talked to him on the phone because he does kind of the initial phone consultations for the mentorship. But Jason has been working with me for about 4 years, I think now. But he's kind of took a more leadership role. Before that, he was doing more as like the back-end office manager role. Now he's taken, more of a, I should say, leadership role to kind of assist me because, I'm pretty OCD and try to handle everything myself. But, it's got to the point where I need help. That's just the reality of things, So he's learned, I would say, 70% of everything that I know when it comes to business credit. And also, I'm coding this new platform and I'm doing all the coding myself. I had developers, but now I'm coding a lot of it myself for the new platform, as well as Boostfy and the AI engine. And it's not just an AI engine that's like ChatGPT or OpenAI or Claude or Gemini. It's actually basically running on an Amazon AWS server, where I've downloaded about 270 hours of my YouTube videos and transcribed them and uploaded them to the server. And it's basically like an AI credit Josh brain. So it's completely trained on, what I would likely say on output if you asked it a question. So it's completely unique. There's nothing else out there like that. And quite expensive to build this up. So, my mentorship students will be the first ones to get access to it, and then it'll be open to the public after that. So that's coming sometime in April. So just stay tuned for that. And it's unlike anything out there, that's for sure. So let me guys just show you guys real quick the dashboard of the new Get Business Credit platform, so you guys kind of have an idea of what it actually looks like. So this is basically what you're going to see when you log in after you get full enrollment set up. You're going to see, exclusive offers, your cash flow, and profile progress. This is also based on, you're going to have to connect your business bank account to the portal, but it's all using Plaid, fully encrypted, very safe and everything like that. There is a lot of regulations that we have to go by. So that's why it's taken so long to build it out, because everything has to be approved also by Plaid, Stripe, and one of them is also Array.co that shows the personal credit scores and analyzes all that together. Just because it says exclusive offers like, say, Ramp or Row or Bill doesn't mean I'm wanting you to apply for that. This is just for if you think, say, Credit Karma, if anybody's familiar with Credit Karma on the personal side, it's similar to that, but kind of built into all into one. So also, you guys, if you guys have any questions while I'm yapping, just go ahead and put it in the comment section, live chat section, and I'll get to the comments as well, back and forth. So anyway, so basically this would be like the overview when you log in. And then after that, you'll see like your tasks. These are custom tasks based on what I feel that you need to do. After I do the full audit, then it will show you the tasks that you need to do. Again, this is just a demo, but this is basically what it's going to look like. You're going to complete those tasks. You guys will notice that there's a Boostfy score. This score is made up of all your business credit scores, but not just your regular business credit scores. Like I always say, normal business credit scores don't matter. Like the Intel score, your Paydex score, those do not matter. What matters more is the score that often is overlooked, and that's like the financial stability risk rating. That's what matters, not your Intel score, not your Paydex score. Those scores can be easily manipulated. Literally, you get 3 or 4 trade lines and come back in a couple months and you're going to have like near perfect scores. So those scores don't really matter. So like the Boostfy score is actually pulling from my other company that the algorithm's based on, and I'll go ahead and spell the beans on that. It's CredLogic AI. That's the name of my other company. CredLogic is basically pulling all the business credit scores, looking at everything as a whole, and then also looking at all the social signals, things that I tell all my students to make sure they get, like, say, Google local profile, Better Business Bureau, verified listing, and all that. Basically what an underwriter is going to be looking for. the opposite of what people think when it comes to business credit, like what's important, is actually the opposite of what the underwriters are actually looking at. Underwriters don't care about your PAYDEX score. They don't care about your Intel score. They care about the data and the financial stability risk ratings and that reporting trade line data, how it's used. Okay. So, that's what matters more than anything. Justin, we're here. You're here. So I'm going to show you Justin's profile with his Experian Business Advantage report here in a moment. And we'll do kind of a mini audit on his. But yeah, Roger, Experian Business will be shown as well. But you have to connect your accounts with it. So let's see here. So then this is kind of what you'll see. It's mapped out a little bit different than what you'd probably normally see, but this is 80-90% of what you'll see for the new portal, and it's all integrated with your main business credit report accounts. So it's going to show like your verified business data, your SIC code, and it'll actually show your NAC code as well, your North America sector industry code. And then it's going to show also your Dun & Bradstreet credit report. This is the data that's not shown normally on your business credit reports to the public, like for you as a business owner. A lot of this is you can only view this if you're an underwriter. So you're going to be able to see the different scores. Every business credit bureau has multiple scores that, they have. The main one that's being shown always is your PAYDEX score. That's the least important one, or like even your Intel score. It's also the least important one on Experian, So as well as your Equifax. In fact, Equifax just released their new scoring model. It's Pulse. It's called Pulse On. That one, again, since they just released it, now I have to make some adjustments in the code to account for that one as well. So again, this is just like a demo, as well as Credit Safe. It's going to show your recommended credit limit. All these are going to vary, but the main thing, what's important is all of them be matching as far as your company data. That's the most important. Okay. Because some trade lines are only going to report to one bureau or two bureaus. Okay. So let me go ahead and show, let's see here. Yeah, let me show this here. Where's it at here? Okay, so you can see this is one of our students, Justin. He's in there right now. So you can see how there's key personnel. If your Experian Business Credit Report doesn't show key personnel, like Justin says here, owner, Justin Witherspoon, we're going to be changing that. Actually, I already changed that, but it takes sometimes Experian a while to update it. I submitted an update over a week ago. Sometimes you have to do it 2 times, but you really want to have that to be 2 different key personnel, even if it's your wife or husband as a secretary or a member of the LLC. It doesn't mean that it has to be like, I don't want to say correct, but you can put down even secretary. It just helps having more rich filmographic data. And that's what I call, say, the key personnel, and also like the business phone number, the business website, and the business email address is lacking here. But we're doing a new website for Trusted Solutions, so it's going to be a .com. So we're going to be updating that. So the rich filmographic data is, much better and stuff on here. You want it to be the whole report to have full data, because you guys have to understand how Experian gets this data is they get it from LexisNexis when a new LLC is formed. So yes, they're not going to have key personnel. Sometimes it's going to be there's not going to be any SIC codes or NAC codes at all. So The only data that you're typically going to see is going to be just what's provided with the Secretary of State, and that's going to be the business name. And like what I always say, the family linkage, that's the ultimate parent. You're typically not going to see, the parent headquarters and branch. It's usually going to be a registered agent that's going to be listed in this area here. Okay. So really when it comes down to like this particular section is not really important when it says family linkage. What's more important is going to be the website being listed on there and business phone number and business email address. Those are very important to have there when it comes to underwriting. And then key personnel and the correct SIC and NEC codes. Okay. And you guys got to always think too, like when it comes to like total employees, more is not always better. So only if you can justify revenue wise that your business could basically support paying 10 people, then that's when you want to have that, right? But you don't want to also have just one. So it's good to have a couple. But if your business revenue, say, is only like 20,000 a month, having 10 employees, that's not going to look good really, because how much, if you have 10 employees, you're only making say 20,000 a month. That's typically not going to be enough to support, justifying 10 employees, so that's where all these little tiny micro factors do matter. And when you combine, say, this matters 2%, key personnel matters a couple of percent, each of those little things do matter, and they actually add up to 10, 20, 30% of what the underwriters are actually looking at. Okay, so let's go down to the scores. So you can see this one, he's at 56. This score is not really that important. You don't want to ignore it 100%, but it's not super important, okay? This is your Experian Intel score. It's not so important. You can see the average benchmark for other businesses in this industry is 44. So he's already above the industry score. So that's good, but, ideally, if we can get it up to say 80 or 90, then that's, beneficial. But again, you shouldn't just focus 100% on business credit scores, especially the main Intel score or BEDIC score. What matters more than anything is this score right here. This is what underwriters are going to be looking at. And this is your Experian Financial Stability Risk Rating. This goes from 1 to 5. You really want to be at 1 or 2. That's the most important. All right. This is by far more important than your PAYDEX or your Intel score. So this financial stability risk rating, you really can't manipulate this score, but you can easily manipulate your Intel score. You can't really manipulate the financial stability risk rating. All right. So now this one also is important. This is goes from 1 to 5 as well. 5 being, the worst. This isn't necessarily bad to have 5, but this is because, well, I'll show you why this is actually. Okay, so you see here how he has the Small Business Financial Exchange. That's a third party. It's not a credit bureau. It's basically all main financial institutions. You're not going to see normal trade lines here. This is going to be, and I know what these are. These are Fleet Corps cards that are underwritten through Fleet Corps. These are like a 7-Eleven, a gas card, and a Fuel Man. So, and the reason why his score is where it is right now, it's because there's no usage. So there's no balance, there's no recent high credit, none at all. But he also should have trade payment information here, and that's something that we need to address here soon. I will talk to Justin directly about that, but he should definitely have some trade payment information. That's what's lacking. So as far as when it comes to supplier category, your trade line experiences, these are continuous trades. So, with business credit, you're never going to see the name of the company. Like on personal credit reports, you're going to see if it's a American Express, it'll show like the American Express, what it is, what account it is. But with business credit, they don't actually show who the trade line is. Now, if you have the smart business reports, like where I'm showing you right now, directly through Experian, then it'll show you the last 4 digits of the account number. Sometimes they don't always line up, but most of the time you can kind of decipher and figure out which one it is. So like this right here, down at the bottom, the paper products. For some reason, Fair Figure, their supplier category is paper products, but this is Fair Figure. It's $35 a month. That is Fair Figure. And then computers, this is going to be Groji. So that's how I know this, because they report on the 14th of every month. And then this is likely NAV, because they usually have letters in the last 4 digits of their account tracking. So more than likely this is going to be NAV. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is NAV. And packaging, this is going to be Uline because it's 0. And this is how I show people to get the Uline, where they don't have to pay anything at all. And it will still report. Is it going to help you tremendously? No, but there's a trick that I show you how to actually get that to be reporting, even though you're going to get like a call or an email saying that it's on hold. So if it's on, like they want you to prepay the order, you can still get it reported. It's just a kind of little trick that I learned kind of by accident, But see how this has supplier category? It's going to show like the auto access, business services, computers, packaging, paper products. This is ideal. So for like normal trade lines, this is what you want to have, is you want to have a variety. And this is what you call, say, account mix. And ideally you want to have like small business financial exchange. You want to have like 4 or 5 different ones, especially different payment terms. But there's something lacking here, and this is the trade payment information. So normally you're going to have 3 boxes. So like trade payment information, this can be typically like the gas card should actually be reporting directly to Experian under trade payment information, because FleetCor actually reports directly to Experian and to the Small Business Financial Exchange. So that we have to figure out. And I'm guessing you have a split merge file that happens sometimes when a trade line gets reported and it's slightly off. So that's what could be happening. We have to check that out later, but you should definitely have trade payment here for sure, data. So especially if you have NAV, they discontinue the NAV Prime card, but it should be here as well. There should be several trade lines that are here under trade payment information. And again, this is for financial trades. So you're not going to have like a, let's see here. Like you're not going to have one of the, say the Speedway Superfleet or 7-Eleven or Ramp. These are only going to be listed under the trade payment and the Small Business Financial Exchange. So think of the trade line experiences are going to be like Coast to Coast Office Supplies, NAV, Fair Figure, eCredible. So like this business services 64, 68, this is likely eCredible because it's 20. And I'm pretty sure this BB17 is going to be NAV. So I'm not sure about the auto access one. This business services 3709 30. This is likely coast to coast, possibly. So anyways, you want to have them all not zero. So this is a perfect example of what you don't want to have. You don't want to have all these like accounts being 0, 0. Even though some of them are say older, you want to have some activity. So you see how this has the monthly payment trends, and then you have your insufficient information to produce quarterly payment trends. His business is fairly new, so it's okay. But ideally, you want to have the quarterly payment trends. Like, it's very important to have all this, you know. You don't want to have insufficient information, but in his case, it's fairly new, so it's okay. But the more data that can be shown, the better. So like, you know, you can see the continuous payment trends here, continuous payment trends there, and then the newly reported payment trends. Why it's lacking here is because there's nothing new. So you want new ones as well. And then of the combined payment trends as well. So it's going to help if you don't have any of this insufficient. So you have 3 areas where it's insufficient. Okay, so, and then the industry management consulting services is starting to be overly used a bit much. So sometimes you want to change that into more of a, I don't know if it'll let me see if it'll let me show this or not. No, let me see if it lets, if I can add it so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Let me see if it's going to show it or not. Because there's areas where you can update it. And you guys, I'll get to your comments momentarily. Okay, so this is where you update the filmographic data. So you can see the phone number, but there's no email listed. So we're going to update that with the new site. But you don't want to just go update things without talking to me first if you're one of my students. All right, see, this isn't going to show because it does pop-ups, and that's what I'm trying to show you guys is like what the industry codes are. So just say consulting. So you could pick, instead of say the management consulting is 8742, that's commonly used is the 8742. So instead of that, you could change it to say computer related services, NEC, that's not otherwise classified. So this one is not as used as much. So that would be a good one. Or the engineering and management services. That's if your business is just a broad, vague business, you don't just do one thing. So a lot of times people are using the 8742, and that's what I even used for so long. But there's other codes that you can actually use. So like there's down at the very bottom, I don't know if you guys can see this. This is a sub one, 8748 9900. So this one's going to be a lower risk, as well as say there's also the business consulting services, NEC, versus just doing the 8742 management and consulting, you know, because that's very broad, vague. So sometimes it'd be better to change it to say business consulting NEC or business consulting services NEC. So it's a case-by-case basis, but that can sometimes lower the lower your risk rating as well. So again, it's case-by-case basis. But what I want to show you guys too is like, if you see here, your lowest 6-month balance is being 0 and your highest 6-month balance, and then the current total active balance and the highest credit limit amount extended. So if you have American Express business card or you have a no PG FinTech card, you guys have to understand if you're trying to get, say, high limit cards or no PG business auto loans, the limits are not going to be actually disclosed to the Business Credit Bureau. So say you have this gold American Express business card, right? And that says no preset spending limit. And then say you have the American Express Marriott Bonvoy, right? That's a normal credit card. This one I think is a $12,000 limit. Well, when it's reporting into Experian and the Small Business Financial Exchange, it's not going to show the limit. It never does. It's never going to show the limit. It's only going to show your recent high credit and actual balance. Okay, that's the only thing it's going to show. So if you want to get, say, a no PG business auto loan, this is not going to cut it. You need to justify a 4-figure trade line. And when I mean 4-figure, it needs to be like over $1,000. So you need to justify to the underwriters that, you know, your company is able to pay like at least over $1,000 on at least one extended trade line. If you have just a whole bunch of trade lines where there's $0, $20, $55, $35, that's okay to build up, say, the foundation, but that's not demonstrating your company is healthy enough to be able to afford to take on a business loan of the repayment terms are, say, $800 or $1,000 or $1,500 a month, or a business no PG Ally Bank car payment. So, you know, these small ones are okay, but you need to have at least a couple that are, you know, high dollar amount. And that's where I get into my business credit 101 mentorship, where I start teaching even my pre-revenue students how to, say, liquidate these gas cards. And you liquidate those gas cards because they are up to $30,000 limit. So you could, say, pull $10,000 off of a Fuelman card, liquidate it using a certain method that I, you know, only teach to my students, and liquidate, say, 9,000 of it, and then run that 9,000 into your Blue Vine account. That's not your primary account. Say your primary account is a Chase or Wells Fargo account. So then you're going to you have like 8,500 in your Blue Vine from that Fuelman, right? So then you're going to do a bank wire for $44.86 and 72 cents. You always want it to be an odd amount, so it looks like it's a taxed or a gross payment coming in from one of your clients. So you do a bank wire into your primary business account, whether that be Chase or Wells Fargo. And then a couple of days later, you're going to want to do another one for, say, $4,217.91. Once you do that, you're starting to show patterns, and that's the banking data. So it's important not to just have one big transaction coming in, because that's also high risk if you just have like one coming in. So the business credit reports are only one part of it. But now if you want no PG business credit, you know, through the fintechs, then you really need to start showing that banking data. That's very important. That's what a lot of them are looking at. So those are different methods. Not all my students I teach this to, but, you know, if you're trying to get the real high limit, no PG, different lines, you want to have multiples of them. Like, you know, I've shown this many times and stuff, but, you know, this is just one stack. I got many of the stacks here. Even like the Centurion Black card, I don't know where it's at, but around here somewhere. But, you know, that's invite only. You guys can get all these. I wouldn't suggest for any of my students to go after and get as much as I did. It's a bit excessive. You know, I think I have a total of like 130 cards. But I just also wanted to show you guys this. You can see GBC, a trusted flex partner. This is a kind of like Bill Divvy ramp, but look how it's net 60 instead of typically net 30. We're their first partner. So if anybody wants to apply, I will put the link here. use our link, because then I can actually trace it. But also don't apply for Flex if you have like very little income coming in, because they will look at it. And during the application, you want to know what to put. You don't want to just put any just vague information. There's certain fields that it can actually make it where the application goes into a dead inbox and the underwriter never actually reviews it at all. So it's very important. Let's see here. So I want to show you guys also this. I've never done it before, but Jason, why don't you drop the link first for the audit one? Do you have that handy?
Yeah.
So these are also limited. We had 20, but we already have like 9 people that already did this. So basically, this is a full audit. If you can't afford to join the one-on-one business credit mentorship, or I can't accept you because I don't accept and approve everybody. But you can see the link. Let's wait for Jason to put it in there. But basically, this is a full audit that I do just like with all my other students, my one-on-one business credit mentorship students. But it's a full 30-day action plan. There's so many people contacting, and we're doing these phone consultations, and they see the pricing for my one-on-one business credit mentorship, and they can't, that they don't have the funds basically, because it's, my mentorship is not cheap. So with this, I made it so I'll do a full audit. It takes 24 to 48 hours, and it's going to be a PDF where I break down all your reports and exactly what I want you to do for the next 30 days. And also, if down the line, if you wanted to join the mentorship, then I'll take off the $3.99 towards the mentorship pricing. But this is something that I've never offered before. It's a full audit, and it takes me, several hours to do it. That's why I say 24 to 48 hours. But you can literally just click buy it now. It'll give you the instructions, and it'll tell you exactly what to submit to me. And then 24 to 48 hours, I will have the audit. Let me put it here. So just go to creditjosh.link/audit, and I'll do a full audit. And I'll actually tell you exactly what trade lines say you're missing, or what citations you're missing. So try to make it where, people that are not able to get the afford the one-on-one business credit mentorship, this is kind of like in between, where at least get you on the right track, so you don't make mistakes. Like too many people, they'll go buy all these different trade lines, and I don't want to say half, probably 75% of the trade lines that people are pushing out there, they don't report, like say Red Spectrum, Strategic Network Solutions, Summa Office Supplies, Dash. There's so many that don't report, and they claim they report, and you're just wasting your money. So this basically will solve that problem. And especially, like say, some people have their credit strong. It's not good to have that if you're trying to actually get funding. It's not bad, but it's not good if you're trying to get funding in the next 6 to 12 months. So if you have that, you want to actually cancel that. So the link will be there if anybody is interested in that. And then next is this. So this I've never done also before. It's limited this coming Friday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is not going to be on YouTube. This is a private webinar event. Jason put the link there too as well.
My face in that picture. Okay, I'm gonna put the other link.
Yeah, I don't know, but anyways, but yeah, this is limited, And my already students that are in the mentorship, they don't need to, obviously pay for this. This is for those that are not in the mentorship. It's similar to like what we're doing right now, but the difference is you can come up, even if you don't want to be shown on the camera. Like it's completely private, no one else can see this, but you'll have access on the audio or video, your choice. You can choose to, not be on the video part, but you can actually ask more detailed questions, because like right now, if you guys ask questions, I can only tell you guys so much vague information, right? But during the webinar, I'll get in more depth and detail answering your questions exactly. So it's, like I said, private session, and it's limited. We only have 20 spots, but out of those 20 spots, we're only doing like 10 for each date. So this coming Friday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and then Sunday, 5 p.m. So you have actually 1 or 2 days to sign up and join if you want to do the webinar. So definitely sign up for that if you guys are interested in that. The webinar will go anywhere from 1 to 2 hours. So on that webinar, I'm also going to share certain strategic methods that I don't share publicly. Kind of the reason why that is because there's some things out there that, I don't try to gatekeep, but I don't want to share to the public, because there's a lot of, I don't want to say scammers, but there is scammers out there that, they're up to no good and they're looking to screw over underwriters. I talk to underwriters like almost on a daily basis. And there's like one underwriter in particular that I would say get loot, and because it's no FICO required, no minimum FICO. Well, they got literally had one person that came from a channel. It's not one of my students, but somebody that used my link got an $80,000 loan and literally closed the bank account instantly after they got the 80,000, and now loot's out of that money. And there's nothing they can really do about it. And I kind of feel bad for that underwriter, because the underwriter is self-funding it himself. So, it's an unfortunate situation, but there is a lot of scammers out there. So, just kind of keep that in mind that, I'm not trying to purposely keep things from my viewers, but, it's the bad apples that ruin it for everybody else, unfortunately, So let's see here. And one thing I'll tell everybody too, if you don't already have this, then you need to do it regardless if you're in my mentorship or not. Let me see here. There's the link right there. Also, if you guys are watching the replay, I'll have all these links in the description once and I'll update it and put these links for the webinar and the business credit audit. I'll have that in there too. So you guys can sign up if you want to. But, everybody should go. If you don't already have a Bluevine account, it's free. This is an exclusive deal that we have set up with Bluevine. It literally, you can have the account open in 5 minutes, literally, and there's no opening minimum balance. You can open it with $1. I'm not saying you should, but you can literally open it with $1. I have all my students have a Bluevine account, either use as their primary or their secondary account, because to get these strategic methods, like to say your pre-revenue, liquidating gas cards even, you need to have a secondary account to do things strategically, and Bluevine is one that there's no fees at all. You will never get any fees. You can do wires, everything's free, and they also let you do, like, say, you can just send invoices to your customers, and you'll get like literally invite that you're pre-approved for a business loan. You won't even, it's not even something that you applied for, but because you're using it, you're going to get an invite for a loan with them. So the more you use it, you could get approved for a loan. I have one student that got one for 30,000, so definitely sign up using our link on there. That would be good for you, because if you don't and you just go to say Bluevine, then there is going to be a monthly maintenance fee. I think they charge like $10 or $12, but with our link, there's never going to be any fees involved at all whatsoever. And it's a very good account too. You can do estimates, you can do invoices, bill pay, even they have on there. So like even bill pay is good to use if you're liquidating certain cards as well. So you can use bill pay for that. But yeah, you guys get your questions in, because this live wasn't planned to be a very long live. I just wanted to make sure Jason's audio and everything was working, because we just got no equipment for him for doing lives and tutorial videos. So we just wanted to make sure everything was working right for some other videos that we're working on. After this, we're going to be recording about 40 videos over the next couple hours. But go ahead and feel free to text 937-423-9954. That's my personal cell phone number. Text, don't call. If you're interested in either joining the webinar or doing the paid audit or the one-on-one business credit mentorship. And even it's getting late for you guys, it's still early here for me. I'm sure most of you guys know I'm in Manila, Philippines. It is about 10 a.m. right now for me. So depending on where you're at, if you guys want to do a free phone consultation, we can accommodate that for the next couple more hours. But if you have any questions, go ahead and put it in there. But if not, just text 937-423-9954. We can go from there. Let's see here. Let me go to the comments real quick. Okay, Roger. Okay, you made it. Ebony. Let's see here. Okay, Justin's there. Okay. Hey, this is one of my old students that I had, I think, back in 2021 when I first started offering the mentorship. A lot of things have changed. If my memory serves me correctly, Jib, you're in Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken. Shoot me a text. Same phone number that you should have on file for me. Let's see here. Hey, Josh, when I look at Equifax business, I have a hard inquiry every month that started around the same time. Okay, inquiries don't matter on business credit, okay, unless you have excessive. If you have like say 20 or whatever, that somewhat matters. But you can see right here the summary of the inquiries. Inquiries don't matter. They don't affect score. They don't really affect anything. So you obviously don't want to have excessive amount, like say in 1 month you don't want to have like 20 or 30, but Fair Figure shouldn't be doing any inquiries at all. So it's not going to be Fair Figure. But especially with Equifax, I would have to know more though. That's where my audit might come in handy for you. for anybody, if anybody is not in my one-on-one business credit mentorship, I know it's not cheap, $399, but it does take me time and it does cost me money to pull reports and data. So, that I guess would be starting for you, would be a good idea to do something like that. So I can actually dissect. I look at all 4 main business credit bureaus and I analyze the rich firmographic data, look at everything in great detail. And I give you a 3 to 5 page PDF explaining exactly what I see there, where their problems are, if any, which there always is, and like an action plan of what you can do for the next 30 days as far as trade lines or fixing the rich firmographic data or your online social presence, because underwriters will always look at that. You can have great credit scores, great trade lines, all that, but if you can't pass the KYB, KYC, know your customer, know your business part when it comes to underwriting, you're going to get declined or low starting limit. But most of the time, you're just going to get declined because something's not adding up. So that's where this comes in handy. Let's see here. And how you can find out who that inquiry is, I would contact Equifax directly. They can help you with that, but I would have to see more though. But if it's just like one, I really wouldn't worry about it. Because it's like I said, inquiries aren't like personal inquiries. It's not a major issue at all, I accessed this thing in here. Okay. Yeah, I would contact Equifax directly because you have to understand with NAV too, the data they provide is slightly delayed. So if updates on the first of the month, that's the data, right? Some of that data is going to be outdated by 2 weeks. That's how they're able to provide all those reports at a cheap price. If you try to go get your report directly from the bureaus, it's going to cost much more. Not directly with Experian. Experian is actually pretty cheap. Everybody should have it actually. So if you go to smartbusinessreports.com/Brex, lowercase BREX. It's not my link, but it's Brex's old link. It still works. It's normally $199 a year, but you're going to get all this, or you can do direct updates and everything. And it's only going to be like less than $10 a month, but it comes out to being $99 for 1 year. You can't beat it. It's like $7 or $8 comes out to being. And I have all my students, have that. Because this is the only one that really matters if you're trying to get financial funding. Experian is the only one that underwriters are going to actually look at. They're not going to be looking at Dun & Bradstreet or Credit Safe. Now, if you're trying to get no PG business auto loans, then that's where your Equifax and your Credit Safe is actually looked at, and it's important. So, but Fair Figure is one that you should actually always have and use that in tandem because you can see, let me see if I can pull it up, the demo here. And they're making a lot of updates as well. Let me see if it shows here. Let's see here. I like the dark better. So you can see like how it says Credit Safe, your Equifax, your Dun & Bradstreet Paydex, and then they have their own Fair Figure foundation score. Doesn't really matter too much on that, but they are going to be also adding Experian. It's just, I don't want to even get started on that. It's not an easy thing to get all of this taken care of and stuff. I know because I'm dealing with it right now with the new BoostFi and along with BoostFi and the new mentorship platform. If it's the data is being shown to the public like this, you have to pay Credit Safe, Equifax, Dun & Bradstreet a lot more money. Like you can get Credit Safe unlimited pulls for like $6,000 a year, but if you're going to be showing it like say fair figure is, they're going to charge you a lot more, So, yeah. But we're going to be going over all this in upcoming videos. This video is more to make sure that Jason's camera and new camera and everything is working. I'm going to be ending this live momentarily. If anybody is interested, just send me a text 937-423-9954 and we can do a phone consultation tonight or schedule it for tomorrow. And I'll have all the links in the description if you're watching this replay. Okay. And I guess with all that being said, you guys take care. And also send me an email, support@joshvanhorn.com. Again, that's my direct email address, support@joshvanhorn.com. If you have any questions that you want me to give me a snapshot of your profile and I can give you some basic information to answer your question. I think that's it, Jason, right?
Yep, I think that's pretty good. Definitely almost hit an hour. I think that's good.
Yep, we just want to make sure everything is working, you guys. And my phone is already blowing up. You guys already sent me texts. So, Rose said, have you ever heard of QCA? No, I've never heard of that, but be careful with trade lines. There's a lot of them and they don't report and they just make up a company and say they report and they don't report. It happens so much. That's one of the, that's why, another thing, that's why me and Aaron are going to be doing the webinar soon, because we're going to be talking about that. Like all these people on YouTube, they're promoting these different starter vendor trade lines, saying they're going to help your business credit report and stuff. But their business credit is not federally regulated. Personal credit is. So anybody can start a website, put a website up, and say they're going to report to business credit bureaus, and it's not regulated. So anybody can charge a fee and, not report. Ones that I know that report, is like CEO Creative, Nav, eCredible, but you don't need to get the more expensive one for on eCredible. The 1995 is fine, not the Lift Plus. It's unnecessary. It's a waste of $20. And then Coast to Coast is a good starter vendor. They report to Experian, which is very rare for a starter vendor. And then also Groji. They report to Experian and Equifax. So, and then like I said, Fair Figure. And there's like one or two. A lot of people tried to get so many different trade lines, back in, say, the COVID days. Things change. You don't need that many trade lines right now. As far as starter vendors, it's unnecessary. It's actually going to hurt you if you go out and get too many, because it looks unnatural. So, let's see here. What did you say? I think they're like Fair Figure. They reported my Intel score. I don't know what you mean by they reported your Intel score, because this is your Intel score, but I'll look that up. Jason, take a note of that QCA credit so I can do some research about that. See who it is. I might know them. It may just be something I saw before. But anyways, like I said, you guys, if you guys want me to do an audit or whatever, full audit, it's only $3.99. It takes me 24 to 48 hours. And you'll get like a 3 to 5 page PDF that I break down everything in a 30-day action plan and things you need to change. If you do want to do the private no PG business credit strategy webinar, it's only $99. It's limited spots, literally only 10 per date. That's this Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we have one on Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is more interactive. Anybody can come up, they can join, or you can just do audio only, ask questions. It's very interactive. So, again, those links will be there. and the replay. So if you're interested, just check out those on the replay. Replay should be ready in like 5 or 10 minutes, so you can see in the description. Okay. Anyways, you guys, if you guys are just tuning in, and you guys are interested, this is, like I said, this is the new platform. It's going to show all your scores, what you could qualify for. It's going to show the task, what you need to do task-wise, that is custom based on what I feel you need to do and what you're lacking. And then it's going to show your business credit reports from Experian, broken down, very detailed to Dun & Bradstreet, as well as your delinquency predictor, your supplier evaluator, your paydex score. Paydex score is not important. And then your financial stress percentile. Hopefully you don't have any late payments as well. And this is going to show you your recommended credit limit, that this is what the underwriters are going to see. And as well as your Equifax and what the recommended credit limit is that Equifax is telling the underwriters. And then also your credit safe. It's pretty much, you're going to see it all in one snapshot with all the bureaus. And there's nothing else out there like this right now that goes in this detailed. So, and this is only for my one-on-one business credit mentorship students or the upcoming course that's going to be launching in a couple months. Anyways, you guys take care. Until next time. Bye.
See you guys.